Hello again, loved ones. This is Matt Stevens, and I hope that you're doing super fantastic. And I don't think I'm going to break the internet or anything when I say this. I'll make this big announcement, but the world is going crazy. It definitely is. And as I said, I don't think I'm going to break the internet. Pretty much everybody already knows that. Everybody already knows that the world is insane. The world's going crazy. It's getting even crazier by the day. And to that, I say, so what? And I know that might not be a popular way of looking at things, saying, so what? But there's some things that we just cannot control. I've kind of looked at this as the Earth server, right? And I call it server Earth instead of planet Earth. How about we go with that? That sounds kind of cool. Server Earth. But one of the things that we do know is that this life that you have or that you are living right now is very temporary. Your true self exists outside of this. And that true self is jacked into this avatar, this version of you, for this very temporary experience. In fact, this experience is not even a blip on the radar. What I mean by that is you are an immortal, eternal being. The great I am, God, the universal mind, universal consciousness, had its awakening, had its I am moment, realized that it existed, became self aware, if you want to say that. And then, in its infinite mind, in its infinite imagination, began creating. And it created you and it created me. And then we started having experiences. And now here we are. For example, I am on the outside, jacked into this avatar, this Matt Stevens, and I am having this experience as Matt Stevens. You're having your experience as you. And this experience is very temporary in that we are infinite. There is no beginning or end, so that it can't be divided. You can't divide infinity and say half or whatever. Where's the halfway point? Right? I mean, that's just so you can't even assign time to things if there is no beginning or end to it. There's only now. It's just now. That's all. There's no beginning or end, only now. But as I said, my personal belief is that this version of you that's watching this video is not even their true you. It's just an experience that you are having as this person. So when we look at all the craziness going on in the world, we just got to realize this is an experience. And there are those in the world, the elites, who do know what's going on. And all of these things that are going on are a distraction. I got to believe that their goal is to keep us asleep so that we will continue to produce and consume and obey. As I've said before, produce, consume, obey. Those are the things that they really just want us to kind of just stick to the program. Just continue to produce, consume, and obey. That's all. But there are those of us who are awakening. There are those of us who have had that realization, who have realized, I am so much more than this. In fact, this is not even who I am, really. This is just an experience that I'm having very temporarily. So, but then there are also those of us who are, meaning among the human collective, there are those of us who are awakening, but then there are those of us who are still asleep. In fact, they are falling deeper into their slumber. And the divide between the two, between those who are awakening and those who are falling deeper into their slumber, the divide is widening all the time. Every day, the divide gets a little bit wider. And for those of us that are having an awakening, now is the time to focus. We need to focus like a laser on the objective. We need to remember why we are here. We came here to have this awakening. We came here to reach some kind of enlightenment, to gain wisdom, to gain knowledge, to gain experience, all of these things. But somewhere along the way, because I do believe that humanity, we did come here voluntarily. We did jack into this Earth server for this purpose, so we can have this experience. And somewhere along the way, we lost our way. Somewhere along the way, we got distracted. Somewhere along the way, the elites, those who truly know what is going on, decided to keep us in the slumber. But now is for those of us who are aware of this, now is the time for us to focus. Now is the time for us to get more in touch with our higher self, get more in touch with universal mind, with God, to get more in touch with that version of us that's outside of this. We do that through meditation, through listening to our intuition, through watching for synchronicities. You see, when you have synchronicities such as saying multiples of one number or whatever the case may be, that's usually a sign to us that we're on the right track. It could be the other way around, though. Use your discernment and figure that out for yourself. But whatever you're doing, if it's probably doing the right thing, well, then that's probably a sign from your higher self you're on the right track. Keep going. Or it could be the other way around. So it could be like, you're definitely not on the right track. You need to turn around right now. That's just where discernment comes in. But we need to meditate more and just get in touch with our higher self. Let our higher self know, hey, I know you're there. If you look at it like the video game analogy, and I know a lot of people aren't comfortable with that, but it works. But if we look at it like the video game analogy, your true self is outside of this, and through like some kind of VR or whatever, virtual reality apparatus, is connected to this avatar and having this experience. So if we can make that connection to that higher self and say, hey, higher self, I know you're there and I'm listening. I want to tune in. Show me the way to navigate this matrix, navigate this Earth server, so that I can go ahead and get back on track and do what we came here to do. Gain wisdom, gain enlightenment, all of those things. But something is coming. Something's on the horizon. Something's about to happen in this construct. It depends who you ask, of course. If you ask certain people, they will tell you that it's the rapture is coming. Okay. And then there are others who will say there's some big cataclysm coming. Okay. One thing we do know is that because we can find it all over the world, that there's lots of evidence of previous runs on the Earth server. There's architecture and just ruins and just there's things all over the world, and I'm going to get into that in future videos where we do look at a lot of these old buildings and things like that clearly were left from a previous civilization. We're told that we built them. Like, for example, courthouses. It's always a courthouse or a library, but whatever. Or the cathedrals. Those are another one. But anyway, we see these amazing structures that are like out in the Midwest of America. So they say, oh yeah, this courthouse was built in 1850 and it was built in 2 years. It's like, really? Where'd all that granite? So you're trying to tell me all that granite was quarried and dragged there by horses and buggies and stuff, and then somehow machined with no power tools, no power anything, and these amazing structures were built? And it's like, oh yeah, and if you look at the history of it, it says it was built in like 2 years or something crazy. It's like, okay. Okay. Anyway, that's getting off the subject. But we are going to get into that stuff in future videos. So there's evidence everywhere of previous runs on the Earth server or server Earth. And something's coming. And the elites, I believe, the elites of the world, they know it. That's why they're building bunkers everywhere. In some cases, they're hollowing out entire mountains and stockpiling whatever in their bunkers because they know that something is coming. And all they can really do is do that and make sure that we stay good and distracted. We are distracted from what's going on. Keep us distracted with wars, keep us distracted with social unrest. We'll just go with that. So I'm not going to get into all the social things going on. It doesn't matter. But it's social unrest. But all this stuff with politics, war, all that, it's just a distraction. It's to keep us from realizing what's really going on, realizing that there is something on the horizon, to keep us asleep so that we do not awaken. We continue to produce, consume, obey, and just be good little humans and do what we're supposed to do. Thankfully, though, we have begun awakening. Thankfully, now we are aware of all of these things. We don't exactly know what's coming. I mean, you can watch Jason Brashears on the Archaics channel. He's got a pretty good way of looking at it, though. Seriously. I mean, he is a chronologist, and he has isolated a 138-year periodicity, where every 138 years there's some event. It's called the Phoenix phenomenon. I'm not an expert in it by any stretch of the imagination. But I can, if you are interested in that, the next time for that event is 2040, in the middle of May, as a matter of fact. But I would direct you towards the Archaics channel for further information on that. But whenever I say that the world's gone crazy and it looks as if something is about to happen, and well, so what? I don't mean that I just don't care, because I do have kids myself. I have 2 daughters. They are young adults, and I do not want them to suffer. I don't want them to experience any kind of suffering. But I also know that there are things that we just cannot control that are going to happen. These resets, I believe, are programmed into this construct, programmed into server Earth. And so every so often, it's going to happen. But I guess I'm a little bit comforted knowing that we are immortal. We are eternal beings. This is just an experience that we're having. This version of me is not really who I truly am. I am cultivating and strengthening bonds, relationships that I have with other beings. And maybe it's my daughters, that kind of thing. But there are things that I cannot control, and we have to learn to accept those things and realize that whatever these things that are happening in the world, that's their problem. They're the ones who, I believe, are stuck here. It's kind of the price of admission for being an elite in this world. This is, of course, a theory, but the theory is, and it's not just only my own, but their theory is that the elites of the world, the Cabal, that they do know the things that are going on. And the price of being an elite in this world is they're stuck here. They can't escape the matrix. They will be here after a reset. And the good news is we won't. When our true self detaches from this avatar once and for all, we go back to where we came from. And we take with us the experiences, we take with us the relationships, we take with us everything that we've gained, all the knowledge we've gained, all the wisdom we've gained, the enlightenment, and all of those things. We take all of that with us. And what we leave behind in this construct, that's their problem. It's not ours. Thankfully. Thankfully, it's not our problem, dear loved one. So focus. I just like to encourage people, focus on meditation, focus on connecting to your higher self, listening to your intuition, watching for those synchronicities, just focusing on those things and realizing that this is not your problem. You are just passing through, here for an experience and then going on to the next. Yep. That's what I got for you, loved ones. Hey, if you have not yet, please give me a like on this video. I would really appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel. We are going to get into a lot of things with regards to resets, previous runs, previous civilizations. So, yeah, so please subscribe, and we'll do that. I do love you. I do. And I'll be back directly.